Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Can you all hear me okay? Wonderful. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I truly appreciate it. My name is Shauna Barnes. As mentioned, I served with the Third ID from 2007 to just shy of, until July of 2011 when I was medically retired. I was a medic and did a deployment to Iraq. I was stationed at Koskalzu, where we had open burn pits. I was exposed to all kinds of the lovely things that are thrown into those burn pits. Koskalzu was relatively small, 2-mile circumference, I believe. My symptoms, I was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, first and foremost. I also have peripheral neuropathy and fibromyalgia and other diagnoses that I don't know that are relevant for today. But my symptoms began about 7 months into my deployment, and I was actually sent home from Iraq in May of 2010. It took about 16 months for my medical retirement to be processed. And during that time, I had to fight because at that time, and I still don't know how much is known about exposure or the symptoms of myasthenia gravis or anything really related to my symptoms. But I had to fight for treatment and to be heard, and was accused of malingering and trying to fake it to get out, and the whole host of things that happen when you are a female in your mid-20s and tend to be a squeaky wheel. And I stood up for myself and for the treatment that I knew I deserved. So my symptoms began very non-conventionally, both while I was in Iraq and then the subsequent retirement and the process that occurs, and then being seen at the VA. Started with bilateral leg weakness, and they considered it unexplained at the time. I have hand weakness, ptosis, primarily on the right side. Let's see, in 2010, a couple of years later, the bulbar symptoms began. I have trouble speaking. I get about 30 to 45 minutes of talking before I start sounding like Roz from Monsters, Inc., if anybody is familiar. I have trouble eating, swallowing. I have hand weakness. It took 7 years for me to get a diagnosis from the VA because of all of the constellation of the symptoms. Every symptom was treated singularly instead of seeing it as the whole. It took me to agree to my neurologist at the VA that I would talk to a psychologist who specializes in FND to make sure that it was not functional or psychological, because that was the big sticking point for years. And I had to see 2 psychologists that specialized in FND before my neurologist at the VA agreed to do a trial of pyridostigmine, at which point, hey, my eyelids were now open, and double vision was gone, and I could eat without choking. I was hospitalized for a week, lost 10 pounds because I couldn't eat. I couldn't swallow without aspiration. And I think the thing that I would encourage the panelists and anybody who ends up seeing your research is to take into account the lived experiences of the patients, and not discount the younger members or the younger veterans that are showing up with unexplained symptoms, because those 7 years, they were hell, to be blunt and honest. It was hard being a young female veteran going to the VA for treatment, knowing something was inherently wrong, and not getting the treatment that I knew that I needed. I am now on biweekly IVIG. I take azathioprine. I am on high-dose prednisone and have developed osteopenia as a result, but the prednisone is what keeps me breathing. And then I take extended release and immediate release pyridostigmine. Extended release is in the evenings before bed, so I don't wake up hypoxic. I sleep with a BiPAP. Yeah, MG it's the fun sister that I never wanted. But I am very thankful that y'all are doing this listening session and paying attention and really diving into what it looks like and how it affects us. So, thank you.